Hi, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man v Film, and now you're going to jump into the top 10 movies that you can watch for January 2020 on Netflix US. So, with a happy new year, let's get started with some fantastic films to kick off 2020. Number 10, Christine. In Florida, 1974, an ambitious 29-year-old reporter is relentlessly motivated to succeed. She knows she has this talent, but being a driven career woman in the 70s comes with its own challenges, especially when competition for a promotion and a tumultuous home life lead to a dissolution of self. With ratings low, the station manager issues a mandate to deliver juicier and more exploitative stories, including a story firmly at odds with her serious brand of issue-based journalism. Rebecca Hall is outstanding in this movie as a woman that has mental issues that is sidelined because of it, rather embraced and helping to sort these things out, help to come to terms with the issues. And a world at odds with her sensibilities just puts her in the back foot, making her make decisions that seem right at the time, but I'm getting a little bit too into the story here and I don't want to. This is a movie that offers a great character study and a great surprise, as well as one of the best performances I have seen in the longest while. Number 9, It Comes at Night. Secure within a desolate home as an unusual threat terrorises the world, the tenuous domestic order he's established with his wife and son is put to the ultimate test with the arrival of a desperate young family seeking refuge. Despite the best of intentions of both families, paranoia and mistrust boil over as the horrors outside creep ever closer, awakening something hidden and monstrous within him as he learns that the protection of his family comes at the cost of his soul. It Comes at Night really kind of failed on its advertising. It advertised it as this really horrific threat of a dystopian future, of something that's run amok. But what we get is a slow build. We get a character study. We get more paranoia than anything really deadly that's out there. It's more about the deadly nature of man when backed into a corner, when given choices that aren't really there, but they feel as if they are, and they make desperate decisions that affect other people round about them. Wonderful performances, great direction, and a really uneasy atmosphere make this an essential watch. But just don't expect your typical horror movie. Number 8, The Long Kiss Goodnight. Samantha Kane, suburban homemaker, is the ideal mum to her 8-year-old daughter Caitlin. She lives in Honesdale, has a job teaching school, and makes the best Rice Krispie treats in town. But when she receives a bump in her head, she begins to remember small parts of her previous life. As a lethal, top-secret agent, her old chums in the chapter are now out to kill her, so she enlists the help of a cheap detective named Mitch. As Samantha remembers more and more of her previous life, she becomes deadlier and more resourceful. Rennie Harlan directs, Gina Davis stars along with Samuel L. Jackson in this Shane Black scripted movie that is just pure joy. I think Jackson is terrific as a sort of comedic foil to Samantha Kane, Gina Davis's character's kick-ass assassin. This has great action, a real horrible bad guy. It has a gun kept in a crotch that gets brought in later on for fantastic purposes, and this is one of those terrific 90s action movies that don't really get made anymore. Number 7, Lawless. In 1931 Franklin County, Virginia, Forrest Bondurant is a legend as a mortal after surviving the war. Together with his brothers Howard and the coward Jack, the Bondurant family has a distillery and bootlegging business. When the corrupted DA Mason Wardrow arrives in Franklin with the unscrupulous Special Deputy Charles Rakes, the Bondurant family refuses to pay the required bribe to the authorities. Rakes pursues the brothers and unsuccessfully tries to find their distillery. This is a real good story of sort of people running out with the system, having to deal with gangsters, but they're extremely deadly in their own right when backed into a corner. And when people move into their turf and start to push and cajole them, poking the bear, so to speak, they have to fight back at some point. It's just a case of when, and you know it's going to be horrible, bloody and visceral. You're just waiting on it getting to there, and it builds up this sense of atmosphere as one of the family kind of discovers a new love, but we know where this movie is going to end up. It's just a case of when we get there and how bloody is it going to be. Number 6, Cargo. Stranded in rural Australia in the aftermath of a violent pandemic, an infected father desperately searches for a new home for his infant child and a means to protect her from his own changing nature. Martin Freeman stars as a father in this movie who is infected with the zombie virus. He can't get away from it. He has 24 hours to really find somewhere safe to leave his baby daughter in this world where everybody seems to be out for themselves or after something horrific. And it's really emotional, resonant. This one stuck with me long after it. It made me feel for the main character with his dying movement, trying to just find somewhere to put his daughter, somewhere to place his daughter where she's going to be safe and looked after, because he's not going to be able to do it. This is one of the best zombie movies of recent years and nobody talks about it, which is a real shame. Number 5, executive decision. Terrorists take over a 747 bound from Athens to Washington, supposedly to effect the release of their leader. Intelligence expert David Grant suspects another reason and convinces the military that the plane should not be allowed to enter US airspace. An assault mission is devised using a specially equipped plane designed for mid-air crew transfers, and Grant finds himself aboard the 747 with a team of military anti-terrorists who have to defuse a bomb and overpower the terrorists. Kurt Russell's amazing. He stars in this movie along with Steven Seagal, and we get David Suchet as the leader of the terrorist. It's all based upon a plane. Kind of ticks every box that I possibly want. You know, there is a ticking time bomb, literally, of what is going to happen here, and they have to try and stop this. They constantly hit up walls of things that are stopping their plans, and they have to adapt and change and slowly start to, you know, infiltrate the plane and get ready to take over. Oh, I want to go watch this. It's such a great 90s action movie. Number 4, 6 Underground. What's the best part of being dead? It's the freedom to fight the evil which lurks in our world. 6 Underground's group of unnamed individuals have chosen to change the future. The team's brought together by an enigmatic leader, codenamed One, whose sole mission is to ensure that he and his fellow teammates will have their actions remembered. Michael Bay's $180 million Netflix movie is ludicrous, completely bonkers, but there is also a certain freedom and joy within watching something that is so out of hand as 6 Underground. The action set pieces are really stand out. The talents of the 6 group that make up this team are completely bonkers. Some of them feel essential, some of them feel completely superfluous to the action that's going to come at hand. The characters in this are rather unimportant. It's basically just action. Every now and again it tries to instigate a kind of political plot into it, and that can just be exercised because it's not needed. We just want the ridiculous action. Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds as he is in every other movie, and this is definitely a switch off the brain to somewhat enjoy this thing. Number 3, War on Everyone. Bobo Bolano and Terry Monroe are 2 crooked Albuquerque PD detectives. They tend to hustle criminals, but their methods have landed them in hot water with their boss, and they're on their last warning. They get wind of a heist and decide to muscle in on the action, robbing the perpetrators. Unfortunately for them, the mastermind of this heist is someone out of their league, someone they would do well to fear. The strangest thing about War on Everyone is the tone that it goes for. It is at moments extremely violent, while being extremely funny in other moments as well. You get 2 really odd but strangely fitting performances here. You get a McDonagh behind the helm, and you know that's going to mean something special. It's violent, it is bloody, it touches on really touchy subject matter as well. There is a horrific, bloody finale, and yet somehow everything comes together and just works. It's a movie when I think back to, I think of the fun moments I had, the strange costumes, the strange decisions that the story takes, and ultimately how weird and unlike a typical Hollywood movie it is. Yet it succeeds at that as well. Number 2, Pulp Fiction. Jules Winfield and Vincent Vega are 2 hitmen who are out to retrieve a suitcase stolen from their employer, mob boss Marcellus Wallace. Wallace has also asked Vincent to take his wife Mia out a few days later when Wallace himself will be out of town. Butch Coolidge is an ageing boxer who is paid by Wallace to lose a fight. The lives of these seemingly unrelated people are woven together, compromising and a series of funny, bizarre and uncalled for incidents. Tarantino's sophomore effort is one of those movies that just set the screen alight. It was unlike anything else that came out at its time, and there proceeded to be a slew of imitators after the fact, none of them even getting close to the master in what he had proven here, bringing both Willis and Travolta back from kind of obscurity a little, but definitely Travolta, and fired them into the limelight along with Samuel L. Jackson. Almost everybody does terrific work in this, and it's just a great, fantastic, weird movie. One of Tarantino's best, in my opinion. Number 1, Snowpiercer. Set in 2031, the entire world is frozen except for those above the Snowpiercer. For 17 years, the world's survivors are on a train hurtling around the globe, creating their own economy and class system. Led by Curtis, a group of lower-class citizens living in squalor at the back of the train are determined to get to the front of the train and spread the wealth around. Each section of the train holds new surprises for the group, who have to battle their way through. A revolution is underway. Snowpiercer is one of my favourite movies of the decade. You get Chris Evans and, let's face it, a wealth of fantastic cast members as they pretty much fight their way from the back of a train to the front. It's the lower class against the upper caste, the have-nots against the haves, and it is terrific. And the more that they break into further cabins, the more they discover about the people that have been subjugating them, the more horrors they discover, and the more luxury where they had nothing. It is wonderfully violent, it is insightful, you get some great characters doing some wonderful things. Snowpiercer is unmissable. So there we have it, 10 fantastic movies for you to check out on Netflix for January 2020. I hope you find something there that you want to check out, something that you're going to love or recommend to other people. If there's anything I missed, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next month for another Top 10.